out there, very good evening and welcome to the News at 6 here on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tracy Shilji, taking you through all the day's developing stories, starting with the headlines. The second International Yoga Day to be celebrated on Tuesday. Prime Minister Modi to lead 57 union ministers in a series of programs. UN headquarters strikes a pose as well. Government eases FDI norms to boost Make in India scheme. Most sectors allowed 100% FDI under automatic approval route. Markets react positively. China snubs India's NSG membership bid once again, says the issue is not on agenda for the Seoul meet. And flash floods in parts of China and Indonesia claim over 50 lives. Several others are reported missing. Well, first, what's going to be the big story, at least the first half of this week? The second International Day of Yoga will be celebrated across India and the world on Tuesday. Extensive preparations are underway for an event that will see thousands of people performing the ancient Indian discipline. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead the nation as he participates in an event in Chandigarh this year. 57 union ministers will also be leading the celebrations in various cities across the country.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead as many as 57 union ministers for the second International Yoga Day celebrations on Tuesday. While the Prime Minister will be participating in a performance in Chandigarh, the ministers will lead various government-sponsored programs.
The yoga program organized by the government, it's a people's program. We want to make it people's movement, and the Guruji is making it a people's movement. I'm very happy about it. Nobody should see politics in this.
इस साल भारत सरकार देश की 6 प्रमुख यूनिवर्सिटी में विशेष रूप से योग का डिपार्टमेंट स्थापित कर रही है, रिवैम्प कर रही है, ताकि ये योग से जुड़ा हुआ आपका सफर स्कूल में ही समाप्त ना हो, बल्कि जीवन के हर अध्याय में योग को आप अपने संग पाएं.
The series of programs this year include mass yoga events, workshops and seminars. It would also showcase the government's flagship program, Make in India. Khadi and Village Industries Commission has launched an indigenously designed yoga wear collection under the brand name Yoga Sutra.
अभी तक जितने भी हमको रिस्पांस मिल रहा है खादी योगा ड्रेस का, बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस मिल रहा है, जिसमें सरकारी विभाग, अर्ध सरकारी विभाग, जैसे कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर ने अपने सभी सेंटर्स को, जो करीब 500 सेंटर्स उनके हैं पूरे भारत में, उन सबको ऑर्डर्स दिलवाने के लिए कहा हुआ है. सभी जगह हमने डिस्पैच किया है. जम्मू कश्मीर है, ये अपना नॉर्थ ईस्ट है, सिक्किम तक हमने मटेरियल भेजा है.
After reports over yoga mats sourced from China for the celebrations last year, the government has also decided that all items used for this year's celebrations will have to be made in India. State governments have been issued instructions that as far as possible, items should be procured locally to encourage local artisans and small industries.
Khadi vastra should be utilized in the yoga. There should be khadi mat also. There should be khadi uniform also. And that will create tremendous inspiration for the nation, tremendous inspiration for the culture, tremendous inspiration for the Bharatiya Sanskriti. Therefore, we decided to use khadi in yoga.
June 21st was declared the International Day of Yoga by the United Nations General Assembly in December 2014. As a special tribute, the UN headquarters in New York has been lit up with the image of a yogasana.
For the first time, also have Indian peacekeepers who are deployed in 13 missions globally participate in activities related to yoga. It will highlight the issue of yoga for peace and harmony.
In the national capital, the event will be celebrated at 7 different locations, with the biggest one in Connaught Place hosting the largest gathering of approximately 10,000 people. With inputs from Kriti Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in the run-up to the Yoga Day celebrations, our correspondent Kriti Mishra spoke to the AYUSH Minister Y. Take a look.
I'm joined by AYUSH Minister. Mr. Naik, welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. What are the preparations for Yoga Day?
Chief Minister from Haryana, Chief Minister from Punjab will be joining us tomorrow. 4 Yoga Gurus are there, and Honorable Prime Minister will be coming there.
How would you support the local industries for yoga mats and yoga kit? Because last year the government faced flack for, importing Chinese mats.
Right. We have not taken single mat from outside. It's made in India. I say making India.
How many countries have confirmed their participation?
Around about 56 countries has confirmed to join this program.
Right. Thank you so much for talking to Rajya Sabha Television, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Well, our correspondent Vishal Daya is in fact joining us now live from Chandigarh, where of course tomorrow is going to be that big event where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be leading about 30,000 of those participants there. Vishal, give us a sense of the kind of preparations that you see around you. Also, rains in North India, are they prepared in case that does happen?
Well, as far as rains are concerned, Tracy, just a short while back, there was a drizzle out here in Chandigarh, and the preparations are pretty much in place for tomorrow's event at the Capital Complex out here. What we are being told is that the Prime Minister will land in the city in less than 3 hours. That's exactly at 8:50 p.m. The Prime Minister will be here in Chandigarh. For tomorrow's program, the Prime Minister will reach the venue somewhere around 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And after the usual addresses by the dignitaries, including the Governor of Haryana and Punjab, the Prime Minister will make an address to the nation at 6:35 from the Capital Complex out there. And then the performance will begin. The yoga performance and the yoga demonstration will begin exactly at 7:05 and will continue for next 40 to 45 minutes. So this isn't just the program, but there are quite a number of arrangements which have been made by the local administration out here. You spoke about rains. Yes, the administration seems to be pretty prepared for that. Number of arrangements have been made as far as the venue is concerned. But in addition to that, the participants are going to be a real attraction this time around. There are going to be 500 different groups with 50 members each who will be participating and performing in that particular event tomorrow morning. And there will be a special group of specially abled participants as well, who would also be performing yoga at the event, something which the authorities out here claim is going to be the first of its kind participation by the specially abled persons in an event like this. So clearly all eyes are on Chandigarh, because last year when the first of such event was scheduled by the government, that took place at Rajpath, but this time around the location and the venue has been shifted to Chandigarh. Yes. And the Prime Minister himself will be present. So everything will be, all eyes will be rather on tomorrow's event starting 6 a.m. onwards in the morning.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Vishal, thanks so much for joining us for those updates. We'll come back to you tomorrow, of course, for all the latest from there. Meanwhile, talking about the government, it did on Monday relax foreign direct investment norms in a host of sectors, permitting more investments under the automatic approval route. Now, the defense sector is now completely open to foreign direct investment. The decision was taken at a high-level meeting chaired by the Prime Minister.
The government has liberalized its foreign direct investment strategy and decided to bring most sectors under automatic approval route. Under the new norms, government has allowed up to 100% FDI in defence through the approval route. 74% FDI would be allowed in pharma sector under the automatic route, which means that foreign investors will not need the government's approval to invest up to 74% in existing domestic companies. The government also permitted 100% FDI in civil aviation, animal husbandry and trading, including through e-commerce in respect of food products manufactured or produced in India. It has permitted 100% FDI in teleports, direct-to-home cable networks and mobile TV under the automatic route.
FDI inflows, which have been very encouraging over the last 1.5 to 2 years, will now find greater reasons to sectorally source themselves, and also to make sure that there is greater clarity in terms of the caps, in terms of the process of approval.
The decision to further liberalize FDI regime was taken with the objective of providing an impetus to employment and job creation.
मैं इतना ही कह दूं, ये पैनिक रिएक्शन है और इससे ज्यादा कोई अर्थव्यवस्था में परिवर्तन नहीं आने वाला है, क्योंकि डोमेस्टिक इन्वेस्टमेंट जब तक नहीं बढ़ेगा तब तक हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था में सुधार नहीं आएगी.
Basically, all this has been done to supplement Make in India program. And what it aims, Make in India program, because you want to improve your employability, you want to improve job creation.
FDI inflows into the country have increased to $55.46 billion in 2015-16 against $36.04 billion in 2013-14. This was the highest ever FDI inflow for a particular financial year. And Monday's decision seeks to further open the doors for the inflow of enhanced overseas capital. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Kriti Mishra, in fact, joining us now live from the newsroom. Kriti, Commerce Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, in fact, saying that India is now the most open economy as far as, openness to business is concerned, to investment is concerned in terms of business. And these are definitely some radical reforms that we are seeing in recent times. Kriti, if you can hear me, if you could just highlight on the fact of how important these reforms are, especially for India, and especially in recent times, some, radical reforms that we're seeing there.
Well, absolutely, Tracy. Government has claimed that the sweeping liberalization in FDI norms would make India the most open economy in the world. Government has also liberalized and relaxed local sourcing norms for manufacturers for a period of 3 years. So decks are cleared for Apple to sell its products, while retail shops, even furniture giant IKEA, would reap the benefits of relaxed FDI norms. There would be clarity on caps and on approvals. So it is expected that this step would reassure global investors that ease of doing business is of paramount importance for the present dispensation. Over to you, Tracy.
Absolutely. Also, the market's reacting positively to this particular news. Can you give us an idea of how political parties are reacting to this?
Well, the left has cornered the government and it has said that this step, the government shouldn't have unleashed these steps. Even the Congress has maintained that this move of the government wasn't calculated. But as far as experts are concerned, experts are saying that this step would provide big push to the flagship program of the government, that is Make in India.
Absolutely. We'll leave it there for now. Kriti Mishra, thanks so much for joining us with those details there. And recovering, in fact, from its early morning plunge, the benchmark BSE Sensex saw 241 points as the government unleashed the new wave of FDI reforms. The rupee, in fact, cutting its initial losses against the dollar, also supported the rebound. The opening losses had been, of course, due to the RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan's decision against a second term in office. But those concerns were laid to rest as global rating agency Fitch allayed concerns of any impact of the decision on India's sovereign ratings. At close of day, the Sensex was up by 241 points, or about 1% at 26,866. The Nifty recaptured the 8,200 mark to close at 68 points up, or 0.84% higher at 8,238. Without a quick break here, we'll be back with the international news in a bit. Stay with us.
From cowries to metal pieces, Indian currency has seen many changes. The earliest punch-marked coins came from Gandhar. The East India Company, at the turn of the 19th century, also minted its own coins. The Indo-Greek coins come from a colony left behind by Alexander. They depict the golden rule of the Guptas, with embossed human portraits and matrimonial alliances like Chandragupta Maurya's wedding with Seleucus I Nicator's daughter.
Welcome back. Now, China has snubbed India's hopes for its backing for NSG membership once again, saying that the matter was unlikely to be discussed at the group's plenary meet on the 24th of June in Seoul. China said that the matter was so far not on the agenda of the meet. This comes a day after External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj expressed hope of entering the NSG this year itself.
In a setback to India's hopes of joining the exclusive nuclear suppliers group, China on Monday said India's application was not on the agenda of the plenary meet scheduled for June 24th in Seoul. In a media briefing, Chinese Foreign Ministry also said that the inclusion issue was too immature to be discussed at the meet, as members of the group are divided over inclusion of new members. China's statement comes a day after External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj expressed confidence that the country would not oppose India's bid. Last week, Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar had made an unannounced visit to Beijing in an attempt to secure its backing for India's membership.
अभी जब विदेश सचिव भी गए थे तो उन्होंने भी बातचीत में यही कहा कि आप हमारे बारे में क्राइटेरिया की बात करने के बजाय क्रेडेंशियल्स की बात करें तो अच्छा है। जहां तक भरोसे का सवाल है, मुझे लगता है अभी 23 तारीख में समय है और हम आशावादी हैं कि हम चीन को भी इसमें मनाने में कामयाब हो जाएंगे।
China opposes India's membership, arguing that it is not a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Chinese media also recently reported that India's entry into the group would endanger Beijing's interests, including touching a raw nerve with Pakistan.
और जहां तक पाकिस्तान की एंट्री का सवाल है, हम तो अभी मेंबर ही नहीं हैं एनएसजी के, जो पाकिस्तान की एप्लीकेशन पर कोई फैसले में हमारा कोई रोल हो सके, कोई भूमिका हो सके। लेकिन हम किसी भी देश की एंट्री का विरोध नहीं करेंगे, चाहेंगे कि हर एक की एप्लीकेशन उसकी अपनी मेरिट पर तय की जाए।
India had submitted its application to join the 48-member bloc in May. While countries including Turkey, South Africa, Ireland and New Zealand were not in favor of India's entry, India has recently secured the support of Switzerland and Mexico. The US and the UK also back India's bid. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's take you through what else is making news across the country in Nationwide. Former chairman of the Bihar School Examination Board, Dalkeshwar Prasad Singh, and his wife, former JDU MLA Usha Sinha, were arrested in Varanasi on Monday. The couple is accused in the topper scam in the Bihar Intermediate Examination, with Singh being the alleged mastermind. The special investigation team will produce them at a court in Varanasi before taking them to Patna on transit remand. The Supreme Court has refused to stay the centre's notification allowing culling of animals. The apex court was hearing a plea against the government notification declaring the species vermin on the basis that they caused harm to crops. The Environment Ministry had issued orders classifying nilgai in Bihar, monkeys in Himachal Pradesh and wild boars in Uttarakhand as vermins. The matter will now be heard on the 15th of July. Roughly 20 hours after a major reshuffle in the Karnataka cabinet, the state has erupted in violent protests. While the reshuffle was aimed at dropping non-performing ministers, supporters of the dropped ones, such as V. Srinivas Prasad, M.H. Ambarish and Shivraj Thangadagi, among others, took to the streets in protest and even indulged in arson and violence. CM Siddaramaiah has dropped 14 ministers and inducted 13 new members into his council. The Enforcement Directorate on Monday conducted searches in multiple locations in New Delhi, Mumbai and Hyderabad in connection with the Augusta Western scam. The identity of the people at those premises whose premises were raided is not known yet. The ED has frozen the shares worth 86.07 crores owned by various companies based in Dubai, Mauritius and Singapore. On to national news, and heavy rains have wreaked havoc in parts of China and Indonesia. Chinese authorities have in fact issued yellow alert across many parts of the country, with more rains expected in the coming days. Dozens of people have been killed and thousands displaced due to floods in the country. And in Indonesia, the death toll due to the landslides in central Java region has reached 50. Search and rescue efforts have been stepped up for the missing persons.
As heavy rains continue to wreak havoc across most parts of China, the country's meteorological department has renewed a yellow alert for rainstorm. A new round of heavy downpour pounded central, eastern and southern China, killing several people and displacing thousands. Floods have washed away houses and bridges, damaged roads and inundated farms, causing extensive damage. With more rains predicted in the coming days, Chinese officials have intensified efforts to prevent floods and mitigate losses. Rescue efforts have been stepped up with many local firefighters and police joining in the evacuation operations.
他那个大腿受伤了，那个伤口有20多公分左右，他不能走。我是专门医院的，把他们接过来到我们专门医院去住院的。
The situation remains grim in Indonesia as well, with the death toll caused by landslide in central Java province reaching 50, with several still missing. Flash floods have caused landslides in several other regions as well, damaging thousands of homes and forcing residents to evacuate. The country's meteorological department has said that the La Nina effect, which typically causes unseasonably heavy rains, might prolong to November instead of ending in July as usual.
La Nina yang diperkirakan bulan Juli, Agustus, September, bahkan kemungkinan juga bisa sampai bulan Oktober dan November, otomatis curah hujan akan melimpah, menyebabkan musim kemarau basah, sehingga ancaman banjir, longsor, puting beliung.
Rescue workers have amplified the evacuation process in view of more rains in coming days. Evacuation centers equipped with temporary shelters and kitchens have been set up near the disaster zones. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
6 people have been killed and 2 arrested after clashes in southern Mexico between protesting teachers and police. More than 100 others were reported to be injured in the protests against the education reforms concerning the assessment of teachers' performance. The teachers were also protesting against the arrest of 2 union leaders who were involved with the Teachers Association from 2013 to 2015 on money laundering charges. The conflict lasted for over 4 hours after protesters threw stones and burnt vehicles as police launched tear gas to evict them. The clash took place in the southern state of Oaxaca in Mexico. And now let's get you more updates from across the world in Global Buzz. At least 14 people were killed and 8 wounded in a suicide bomb attack on a minibus carrying Nepalese security guards in Kabul. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. The military and police cordoned off and cleared the area immediately. The injured, including 5 Nepalese and 4 Afghan residents, have been sent to a hospital. North Korea on Monday slammed the crackdown by South Korea and UN Command joint troops on Chinese boats illegally fishing in neutral waters, threatening a provocation similar to the 2002 scuttle in the West Sea. The troops have been authorized to use force against Chinese fishing boats if they do not comply with an initial verbal warning to leave. This is the first time that South Korea and the US-led UNC have taken joint action to drive out foreign vessels in the military buffer zone. Three people were killed in northeast Syria on Sunday in a suicide bomb attack at an event commemorating the massacre of 1 lakh Christians by the Ottoman army starting in 1915. Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack. And finally, let's get you all the latest from the world of sports in Sportsbeat. The Indian mixed recurve team of Deepika Kumari and Atanu Das won silver at the Archery World Cup in Antalya. The Indian team lost to South Korea 1-5 in the final. The women's recurve team also went down to the bronze medal clash to Italy 1-5. In Euro 2016, Switzerland rode their luck to earn a 0-all draw against France and reach the knockout stage at a European Championship for the first time after finishing second in Group A behind the hosts. France hit towards the goal thrice but were unable to score. In another Group A match, Albania made history with a 1-0 win over Romania, their first victory at a major international tournament. The win gives them a chance to go through the knockout stage as one of the 4 best third-place finishers. Argentina and Chile both advanced to the semi-finals of the Copa America with crushing victories. Eduardo Vargas scored 4 goals as defending champions Chile hammered in fact 7 goals past Mexico, inflicting a humiliating 7-0 defeat. On the other quarter-final, Argentina beat Venezuela 4-1, with Messi scoring 1 and creating another. With the goal, the Barcelona striker equaled Argentina's international goal-scoring record. Chile will now meet Colombia, while Argentina will take on host USA in the semi-finals.
Another situation here, Vargas is through, 1-on-1, it's for Chile are romping it.
Andy Murray won a record 5th Queen's Club trophy as he beat Canadian big server Milos Raonic 6-7, 6-4, 6-3. Murray's title hopes appeared to the faltering when he trailed Raonic by a set and 3-love down in the second. but the British top seed came back strongly to take the title. Nico Rosberg won the first Formula One race held in Azerbaijan on Sunday to turn the championship tide and stretch his lead over Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton to 24 points. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel finished runners-up at 16.6 seconds behind, with Force India's Sergio Perez back in the podium for the second time this season at third. And that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Coming up next after the break is The Big Picture.